Hi, my name is Sam. Welcome to Toonami Squad Discusses. Along with me, I have V Lord from Toonami Faithful, alongside my squad mates JMB, Phantom, and Silver. Today we will be discussing HBO Max and the future of Toonami. So, before we begin, to get everyone on the same page, HBO Max is Warner Media's new streaming service. It's combining HBO with all of Warner Media's offerings Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, but they also have license pickups from Studio Ghibli along with Doctor Who. So, what we'll be discussing a lot of today is really what this means for the future of the block and where it currently stands. So, who wants to open up with the discussion? All right, we're off to a great start.
Yeah.
I guess you could go first,
Although,
Sam. Unless somebody else wants to go first.
no,
um,
I thought there was Rooster Teeth shows on there as well on HBO Max.
like I said, Warner Media offerings, so
Oh, okay.
that'll
That covers
And
that
that
under
covers
umbrella.
that. So I
yeah,
guess I can start. Is that basically with HBO Max launching in a couple months, I'm not really concerned about like Warner Media coming in and acquiring what would be Toonami originals. That's not what my concern is with HBO Max. Right now, I think what Warner Media may have planned down in the future is acquisition of other anime titles via distributed through them in North America on their service, with Crunchyroll distributing it elsewhere around the world. That's where I think that they may stand with anime acquisitions in the future. Of course, right now they have acquired Studio Ghibli films in North America outside of Grave of the Fireflies because that's not really Ghibli, even though it is Ghibli, but that's all handled through different licensors. Um, but right now, I think Toonami is in a good position. I don't necessarily think we'll be seeing many shows jumping ship to HBO Max. Um, I don't know if people have a different opinion on that, but I'll open up the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you there, Sam. Like, I feel like, especially like Blade Runner and Uzumaki aren't going to show up on HBO Max
Well, I
before Tanami.
yeah, I think that they will stream on Max, but I don't think that'll be premieres for Max.
Oh yeah, yeah, they will definitely show up on HBO Max at some point, but like they are going to be on Tanami first. Like they're being produced specifically for Tanami, so like it makes sense to do it that way. But as HBO Max kind of builds up its catalog and kind of tries to gain more of an audience, it's obviously going to go after the anime market.
Yeah,
That's unavoidable. Netflix and Amazon are already doing it, so it makes sense for HBO Max to get in that game. But I don't think it's going to try to like actively hinder what Tanami's doing, and
no.
Tanami's already in such a great position that I don't feel that it's just going to get suddenly shattered once HBO Max launches.
Yeah,
No. If anything, I can see them using Toonami to promote the anime exclusive offerings that they would put on HBO Max.
um,
Like maybe the more mainstream stuff, but like Toonami's in such a good position that like he said, I don't see them like just taking a hammer and breaking it into pieces and then putting it all on HBO Max. I think they're gonna try to do a bit more of a synergy
yeah,
type of thing where they're gonna like, oh, it's on Toonami. You can now we premiered this on Toonami, but you can see the next two episodes on HBO Max or something like that.
I don't necessarily see that happening. I could definitely see Toonami doing some bumpers or ads for HBO Max
Yeah,
because corporate synergy, gotta promote it.
yeah,
But
yeah. Not to
um,
the extreme I said, but definitely some kind of something cooperation, basically.
yeah, Like I with the news that Genlock is going to be exclusive to HBO Max for I think it's 3 months. It's a 90-day exclusivity, I think, and then Rooster Teeth will upload it like afterwards. That may I do think that that will show up on Toonami. Like I don't think that Warner Media wants to have any of their shows locked exclusively to Max because to me HBO Max, even though it does have the HBO branding slapped onto it, I don't think it's going to be a big success. Now, I don't think it's going to be a failure. I think it'll be a modest hit, but I don't think it'll be the hit like Disney Plus is, or will have the same level of subscriber numbers as Netflix. But I do think that Toonami and HBO Max will play nice, that they will promote each other very well.
Yeah, and in Gen Lot's case, I can already see it now. They're gonna premiere season two just to say we're releasing season two.
Yep,
That
which
like,
is which is basically what they did with season 1 anyway, is that they wanted it on TV just to promote the Blu-ray release.
yeah, you want to see the uncut episodes? Well, we're about to release season two on Blu-ray in a month, so there it is. It's it was a little bit obvious with season one, and it'll be even more obvious with season two. But I think that's just gonna be it. Like, there's gonna be some synergy at
Yeah,
the moment. If a show fits on Toonami, they're gonna try to let's put it let's put it on the block and see what happens. Now, I do think that in Toonami's case, um, we recently had a lineup change where they cut it out the fat.
hmm
I have absolutely no problem with it because it's basically a repeat. I think for the second time now, where they just trim the fat and it's all premieres, and it'll eventually keep doing that where it's it's bigger, now it's shorter,
yeah.
longer, shorter, longer, shorter.
And besides, like Jason and the rest of the crew much prefer it to be like 3 hours, 3.5 hours at max.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he even said like it can change if like the opportunity presents itself. Like it's not like they're locked into 3 hours.
Yeah, it seems like Adult Swim is a lot more flexible with Toonami than they are with their other programming, which says a lot about the brand that Toonami has built for itself over 20 years. So they know that they have a loyal fan base, and they know that people will come in and watch every Saturday night, and that they know that no matter what time they're at, people will watch. So with these original shows, I could definitely see like if all slots are taken, like they'll just form their own slots, create it for maybe a few weeks or something, and then just get rid of it when they don't they no longer need that slot.
yeah. If anything, I think at this point it's like Adult Swim confirming that this is your space. You have this guaranteed space. If we're getting extra shows, we can add some more time slots, but you have this guaranteed space. It's yours.
hmm
It's basically confirmation of that at this point. Now, I will say that something that Jason DeMarco said about the reasonings for cutting the block do kind of, they're not alarm bells, but it's like, I'm not sure how to put it, because basically one of the reasons for cutting the fat to the block was programming saying this is starting to get expensive. That tells
Yeah.
me that the prices of the shows keep going up,
Yep.
and that does tell me that they might start to ramp up the amount of original productions because
Yeah.
it's a lot cheaper to make originals than get the anime hit of the season or year. every year.
I don't think
I,
that's
I don't
all
think of
like
that. I
Mm.
don't think like. I just think that little comment about saying that it was starting to get a bit expensive. I think that's a little sign that they might try to change it up slightly,
I mean,
tr-
anime
balance
price.
things out.
Yeah, I mean, like anime prices are going up because, well, streaming services like Netflix and Amazon are forcing those prices to go up. Licensing fees are through the fucking roof. You see that all the time with like even companies like Crunchyroll and Funimation, like they're paying a lot of money just for maybe even one show to be a hit that season.
Even if they don't know what the show is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But you know, it's just unfortunately that's the business and that's pretty much where the industry anime industry is right now. It's like streaming is taking over and these companies like Netflix and Amazon are willing to pay millions to probably hundreds of millions of dollars just for one license to a show to just be exclusive to them. So it makes sense the prices are constantly going up. But I'm not sure if like producing originals would be as cheap as acquiring content. I think for Toonami's sake, they want originals because they want to block Netflix and Amazon from acquiring that content.
That's a fair point.
Because with stuff like Fooly Cooly, we know that they were going to produce more of that with or without Adult Swim's money. Like they were just gonna move on. So if it wasn't Toonami who brought that back, it could have been Netflix. It could have been Crunchyroll. It could have been anybody else. But they paid for it because they wanted it, and I'm not sure about the full success of the series. Apparently, they did well in broadcasts, but still, their funding for original content seems to be working for them, and that's pretty much what they want. They want results.
Yeah, it's a tough situation they're in right now. I feel because like even for stuff that we think is available, like there are like a lot of like licensing hurdles they have to go over. Like Jason mentioned like a while back that they tried to get like Yuri and Ice and like Ancient Magus's Bride, but even stuff like that where like you'd think it would be available, it's not.
Yeah,
So
that's really weird. I wonder if that had something to do with Crunchyroll and Funimation's own partnership, or whoever had the license for the Japanese side didn't want it on TV. It's so weird because it could be a number of factors for why a show does not come on.
Yeah.
yeah, as far as like original programming goes, though, I definitely think that the overall like upfront cost of producing it is like way more expensive than just getting like an anime to air. But in the long term, say you want to like re-air that or like air that like anywhere in Adult Swim, that is more beneficial, especially if it's something that's going to end up being like a hit.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Samurai Jack season 5. They re-aired that a ton during its premiere year, and Fooly Cooly reran a couple times on Toonami, but I don't. They never aired it outside of Toonami, which, for a show that they kind of co-produced and kind of own, you'd think that they would kind of put more like time into putting space for it on the regular block, but I guess not.
Yeah, that I do have to say it is a bit weird that so much effort, so much emphasis on we brought back Fully Cooley. We're only airing it on this specific block on this specific night only, and never again. Like you think like not you think that a show like not they don't even bother to put it on a dead night, like, oh, let's just throw this in on Wednesday because we need to fill the time slot. Not even that. It's a bit weird that all these Adult Swim originals, all these Adult Swim shows, they just throw them in there. And Fully Cooley season 2 and 3 is like, nah, we don't need it.
It's just in the closet. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, just leave it alone. It did good. Leave it on its break. It's okay. We got it. Meanwhile, they add Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like, we made this show like 2 years ago. Nah, let's just take this season we made in 2007.
But I do agree that original content over time, with the more that they're producing, especially if Adult Swim themselves are just producing shows without having it tied to Toonami, it could mean a lot more for like variety outside of Adult Swim, but even inside the block for the original content, it does mean a lot because it does save them the time of trying to get a specific show if that show is unavailable to them. And that just means that there's a future, that there's original content coming, that we know original content's coming, and that we know that the future of Toonami's not going it's not going anywhere. It's cemented itself here, regardless if people say otherwise.
Yeah.
like those clickbait videos.
Yeah. Like, people need to get this through their heads. At this point, Toonami has a guaranteed 3 hours. It might go to 3 hours, it might go to 3:30, but it has a guaranteed 3 hours. Let's be happy we at least have that.
I mean, yeah, you have good shows on there, except for Sword Art Online.
You have shit.
No, let's not go there.
That's its own thing.
Let's not go there. Fan, shut up.
That's why I said it's its own thing.
Okay.
But at least you got JoJo.
And Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, which
Food
I don't know how many more
Wars.
episodes they have left.
And Food Wars. Can't forget about Food Wars.
Yep, I
Not-
would say Dr. Stone, but Dr. Stone's almost done.
we don't have the Food Wars OVAs, which are technically
Required, because oh
Required.
man, people are gonna be so
Following.
lost come April when season 3 premieres on the block. It's like, wait, who's this person? That's part of a OVA that was bundled in with Shonen Jump manga.
That you can't buy.
That's not going to be able to be licensed anywhere outside
I mean-
of Japan.
I don't think you can even buy in Japan anymore.
what?
Who
What
thought
if,
this was
what
a
if-
good idea?
what,
I mean,
what
you
if
can't
what
get
if
every
they
single
scan the
OVA
pages?
on the block. Sure.
What if they just scan the pages from the manga and then just air that on the TV like for 5 minutes and then boom, new episode there,
I
new
actually-
season starts.
Believe it or not, I actually watched that.
Because
But-
at least that kind of connects. Okay, we don't have the OVA, but at least that way some things make sense.
There's a thin line gluing this together.
Yeah.
I mean, they're willing to get some OVAs at the very least. I mean, we didn't get anything from like Kill la Kill or Black Lagoon wise.
Yeah, man.
So, I was a little confused by that. But anyway, going back to our topic,
Yeah.
obviously, since we're discussing about the future of Toonami and, well, really HBO Max as a whole, where do we stand on both?
I don't think Toonami's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same.
Also
Tsunamis
agreed.
and
I mean, the thing is, people will flip off if the block is cut another hour.
Honestly, if
I mean,
that
it's-
means
I mean,
if that means we get rid of shipping, I mean, like, let's
Yes.
Hey,
let's be hasty here.
hey, come on. At least it's not Boruto.
Yeah.
I mean,
I fell off of
anything
Boruto. Who
Boruto.
knows how long?
But, but yeah, it's pretty clear Toonami is not going anywhere, and with
I
where
think if anything, they're in a very good position right now.
yeah, I tend to agree. Obviously, for this year, we've only gotten Sword Art Online as our brand new show, which, I
We
mean,
don't talk about.
It's fine.
it's
This is a
yeah.
safe place.
You're live. It's technically not a safe place.
Oh my god.
So watch your mouth.
Phantom, you're
I'll be
drinking way
honest,
too
I don't
much.
watch it. The only reason I record it is just because I can get the promo for it, and that's it. Other than that, I could care less about it.
Besides Uzumaki and Blade Runner, there's tons of shows that they're supposedly developing.
There's
That
6
they're
unannounced titles that have yet to be revealed.
well. There you go.
And
I
we'll
thought it
know
was
about
6
well-
including Blade Runner and Uzumaki though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Okay. We'll know about them in 2021.
I was to say 2023, but
I would
Yeah.
say we're gonna hear something about it either at MomoCon or Anime Expo this year.
definitely not see that one convention in
Or
Chicago.
Crunchyroll Expo. Because
Which will be
that was the thing.
attending
Was
MomoCon this year.
CCBC,
So
that's what it's
if we
called.
hear something.
Yeah, but I do think with more of the originals that Toonami has planned, they're going to announce one this year, and then they're going to announce another one by probably 2021, 2022.
Yeah, and
I
I
mean,
think the thing is too is that I don't think Uzumaki and Blade Runner are even going to air this year. Like
Uzumaki
prob-
is planned for 2020. I
Yes.
think it is this year because it's
Well,
only 4
yeah.
episodes. And
Probably in the
If they-
fall or something.
I would say summer or fall for Uzumaki. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess like
Anything-
late if it's like very late in the year, then that would make sense.
Blade Runner, no. We still
Mhm.
don't know anything about a 2D studio. We know the 3D studio attached, but we don't know anything about that. We still have no. I don't think we even have any concrete production art or anything about the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Plus, I think that exact same team is working on the Ghost in the Shell anime.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Blade Runner anime only makes sense to air very late in 2020 if they say anything or show anything
I
really
don't think
early
Blade Runner's coming
in this year.
No, Blade
Yeah.
Runner.
And even then, it's like
It's a stretch.
maybe.
I think it'll be coming out sometime next year. Probably, if I were to guess, summer 2021. That seems like a summer title.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's ready
that's a
by
safe
then.
bet.
Yeah.
It is guaranteed we'll probably get a promo for Uzumaki, and then they'll have a special screening at Dragon Con or something.
Yeah, likely. Because I could see this being like their October anime. Like, air that for 4 weeks and then have our
I mean-
Halloween marathon. But,
Don't be surprised they actually did the same thing what they did with the first episode of The Forge and show it.
they could also do that, although probably not.
Doubt it at
But
the same time.
But yeah, Uzumaki is planned for this year, which I do think is happening because it's not that long. 4 episodes. It's all black and white. I don't think production is in a bad place, as far as I'm aware. It's not. So it seems very likely for late this year. But Blade Runner, definitely not. And
No.
whatever future originals are being planned, well, we'll hear more about them hopefully soon. I'm excited to know about them because I think so far, my gripes aside with Fooly Cooly Progressive and Alternative is that I do think that these originals are doing really well, and I think that they are bringing a little bit more awareness to the block and really for Adult Swim as a whole.
Yeah.
hmm
I want to go back to HBO Max for a little bit.
Sure.
I'm not sure what you guys talked about. If y'all might have brought this up because I was on a phone call, and I apologize for that. But back in July when we got the press release for it, it did say that it would include programming from Rooster Teeth, Crunchyroll, and Adult Swim.
Yep.
So I would assume we would be seeing shows from Toonami on there as well. against
Um,
any
Ish.
shows that
Oh,
Crunchyroll we had that Toonami has deals with Crunchyroll with at least.
I mean,
I
I
can
would
see those
say
shows
that
being
I think
going.
Crunchyroll,
there's,
yes.
I think that isn't there going to be like a dedicated Crunchyroll section on HBO Max? I
Yeah, they
there's
said it's like going to
What?
be curated anime section. Like they were
yeah.
very vague about it.
So
Yeah.
it's probably a combination of both then, both Toonami originals and probably
Mm,
licenses that Crunchyroll has.
Yeah.
Um,
Because if
whatever, like
because if
it's
we
pretty
only
clear
have a tsunami section, that's gonna be very barren. So
because
that's like,
I think they separated. I think with Ghibli they separated it into its own section, not like clumping it together with anime specifically. So obviously that's probably a lot higher priority to them because Ghibli's a big grab for them. But yeah, with it being like some sort of vague anime section, that kind of implies that they have some sort of plans to acquire more anime-like content.
unless they
Yeah.
just name the anime section Toonami, which I can kind of see happening because while Toonami is an action block here, they'd be using the Toonami mantle for literally any action animation outside. Well, I guess only Toonami France, because I don't know if there are any other Toonamis left.
no, I think it's just us and Toonami France.
uh,
No, yeah.
Toonami Asia died. Toonami India, I don't think it ever launched. So Toonami France,
That's still a thing.
Yeah,
Basically, this is all
but I
press
can
release.
totally see them like instead of just making up a name for the anime section or putting Crunchyroll, they just slap Toonami on there because it's a
It's
capable, recognized brand.
yeah, and because we're thinking like Crunchyroll will still exist as its own separate brand.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because to me, like, I don't think Warner Media is really interested in shutting it down. I do suspect that Verve though will be gone because Verve pretty much is more of a nerdy version of HBO Max. But I mean,
It would be redundant at that
yeah,
point.
it
yeah,
doesn't make sense.
yeah. But Crunchyroll being operated as its own thing, I mean, I think Warner Media will still allow it because it still does really well. It's a brand anime fans are well known with. So I personally think that it'll still stay up. So, but yes, I do think that if they kind of rebrand, if they have a name for that anime section, and they just call it Toonami, that would make a lot of sense.
I'll laugh if they just name it Toonami Jetstream.
The
Oh man, that'd be
revive it.
That would be pretty dope.
I
Not
mean,
lie.
Yeah, 'cause
that'd
I
be pretty
love
cool.
it, but I'm gonna laugh because the last Toonami Jetstream.
Oh
Well,
man, who wants to watch some episodes of Mar? Prince and
Or
Tennis,
And
Prince
anybody?
Tennis, Haru no Go.
no,
those
no,
5 episodes of iShield 21.
I'm
And
gonna laugh if
there's
then
IGPX.
Toonami Jetstream 2 fails and they just throw all the shows on the.
I mean, I'm sure they'll come up with a different name besides just retooling Jetstream.
Nah,
I'm not even sure if they'll even give it a proper name if this
nah,
section is the mainstay of HBO Max. It
yeah,
might just be like how Netflix handles it, where there's a section that specifically lists genres and anime is part of it. Although animation is not a genre, but that's a different argument for a different day.
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
the anime in large Comic Sans font.
Oh God. You know what? You say that jokingly, but you know what? Warner might do that.
They've done worse.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Sadly true. But yeah, I mean, also to keep in mind, with HBO Max and Toonami, I think AT&T is smart enough not to put all their eggs in one basket. They still want people to subscribe to television. They still want people
right.
to have access to other services. That's why Warner Media and Warner specifically is still doing business with Hulu and Netflix because they don't want everything and everything to be on HBO Max because that's still limiting their audience. I suspect that not everything on Max is specifically exclusive. I think some originals are, but I think for some of the titles that might be on there, they might also come to television. Because when that presentation back in October, they were showing the Boondocks, a part of Adult Swim's thing, and they were talking about the revival. I have a suspicion that that's going to be a Max exclusive for a while, and then Adult Swim will just pick up reruns.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Because I do think that, because unlike Disney, because Disney owns so much and they're such a big corporation,
Yeah, they don't
people will
need to
follow
license
Disney to
anything.
hell and back because almost 30 million people are subscribed to Disney Plus. I don't see that number with HBO Max within its first year. I see at max 15 to 20 million.
Yeah, and here's something I have to ask: who is convinced on signing up for HBO Max at the
I
moment?
I I'm getting it because I personally think the originals that they have coming up are going to be worth it. Plus, I also like the fact that there's a bunch of backlog shows that I can watch. So, I'm getting it for that specific reason. Plus, HBO content is also going to be a part of there, and really, it's just going to be a replacement for HBO Now, which I like now,
I mean, yeah,
but but
I
Did
but the
they
player is shit, and the actual interface of it is garbage. So,
I have it,
did they
so I can agree with that.
did they ever give a price for HBO Max yet?
$15, same price as
Oh,
Now. So basically, when I say this is a replacement for Now, it's basically that. Although they're keeping
yeah.
Now
Does it
up,
also
which,
have DC Universe attached?
yeah, I mean, DC
Because I
Universe is likely to be dissolved as well
because I want to watch that Harley Quinn series.
all DC content is going to be dissolved into Max pretty much.
Which is not
Um,
much of a loss because I don't think like anyone has DC
I
Universe.
I had it for a while
Yeah,
and I liked my time with it, but it's just so limiting of a service because
But I mean,
you're
doesn't
only
mean
appealing to DC fans, and while I love DC, it's just like HBO Max is just a better place. I think it's going to expose a lot more people to these shows.
yeah, I'm yeah. DC Universe never made sense to me to sign up. Like, the, I want to rewatch Batman the animated series. Batman. There are so many
that's
things I want to see and rewatch, but at the same time, it's like after that, there's not much of a reason, and I still don't get why they even bought the service because it's
wasn't there a
basically like
continuation?
aiding your entire brand to that one tiny space where only DC fans are gonna go there.
Yeah, I I don't know what Warner was thinking. Maybe they were trying to dipping their toes a bit in the streaming market to see, because DC is their most popular brand. It's the most recognizable brand out of everything that they own. So I get where they're thinking, but at the same time, there's not really a lot of compelling reasons to get DC Universe. Like,
Yeah.
I love the original content on there. I actually sat through Doom Patrol and I love that series, and Young Justice is cool, but basically for a lot of people, it's just a Young Justice machine. It's
Yeah.
I think they
basically that.
grossly overestimated how much like your average DC fan would actually pay for a service dedicated to DC content.
Yeah, I mean, if they kept it alive as a comic book service, like how Marvel Unlimited is, I would probably subscribe to it because I like comic books and I probably would love to read a lot of DC comics.
Yeah,
That
like the
was,
comic side of DC Universe is actually pretty good. Like the 1 year delay on like the comics is kind of annoying, but even then you get a big selection.
yeah, there's a huge backlog of comics available. If it was just that, for maybe like $6 a month, maybe I would probably subscribe to it just for the comic portion. That would just be amazing. But as a service that also offers video, there really isn't much incentive for people. Compare that to like HBO Max, that's more of a market thing. Like that's going
Yeah,
to appeal to a whole lot more people than DC viewers.
yeah. To that, yeah. HBO Max for variety, I would subscribe. I'm not 100% sold on it because it is another subscription.
Mhm.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It, I'm a bit iffy on HBO Max, honestly. Like, I do like the offerings, but I'm at a point where one thing I do want HBO Max to do in the future is to add a live broadcast option
Which they will have somewhere down the line.
at some point, not at launch,
No.
because
I mean
gotta
that's
balance
expecting too
things out
much.
at first.
I'm wondering if like HBO Max will be kind of named differently with different tiers. That would be confusing as all hell, but I could
Oh
totally
god,
see Warner Media doing that.
No, we don't need
Yeah.
naming conventions.
Because they do have plans for an ad-supported version somewhere down the line. I could probably see them taking out HBO entirely part of that and just calling it Max, and you're paying like maybe $9 a month for it, and then like the highest tier is Uverse HBO Max, where you get some live TV features, which is it'd be so stupid if they called it that. But you know, Warner Media is just
Mm.
awful with fucking names.
I mean, is there like any originals are you looking forward to in Max besides
Um,
Boondocks?
I would say probably some of the DC content. I'm excited for Doom Patrol Season 2, which, you know, that's also going to be on DC Universe, but I mean, like, come on now.
And I know Adventure Time is getting a continuation.
I would
some
have to sit. I'd have to sit through all of Adventure Time. I never got a chance to watch all of it.
I think the show I'm probably the most excited for in Max is like Close Enough.
I
Yeah,
want to
Oh,
watch
that's
that.
right, that
I
show.
need that. I have been waiting.
I'm surprised it isn't a launch title because I think that would at least get people who wanted to see that show to subscribe immediately for it.
I mean,
But
I would subscribe for it for that.
I think it's a scenario where it was gonna be a big hit. Oh wait, we're gonna change plans. Oh shit, we
Yeah,
made
because like originally it was supposed to be part of like a TBS like animation block,
yeah,
but then the
that'll.
animation block was scrapped, so then they didn't know where to put it.
Thanks, Louis
yeah.
C.K.
Now they're gonna bring it to HBO Max, but instead of it being a big thing, it's like, okay, we need to add more content. We need to. All right,
But
we
my question is,
Yes, we'll
good.
add Doctor Who.
Yeah,
That'll
just
get
throw it in
people.
there.
I mean, my only thing is, we don't know how much of Close Enough is done.
It's
Is it?
probably completed. First season's
Yeah,
probably done. It's
they
been
already greenlit it for a second season too. I think.
really.
So.
I didn't know about
Huh,
that. But yeah, the
I
first
guess
season's
it's.
probably done at this
It
point because
has to be done.
this was supposed to air in 2018, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, with that information, I guess that's close enough.
that pun was terrible.
I know. I'll
It
see my
doesn't
way
even give
out.
you like the sitcom. Oh.
That's why I'm here. I'm just bad with names.
But yeah, you know, I think HBO Max, for what it is, won't have like what Disney Plus had. They had Disney Plus launched with The Mandalorian, which I think was pretty much sold people on that service day one. HBO Max doesn't really have that. They have backlog content to sell their service, but it's not like backlog content works. I mean, people subscribe to Netflix to sit down and watch The Office. So, I mean, it works, but original content also helps, you know, get your service talking and have people interested in subscribing. That's kind of what Disney has done with Disney Plus and what Netflix is continuing to do with their service. right now, we have promises of originals and acquisitions of shows and movies. It's just, you know, where's that killer app at launch?
Yeah.
I
Because,
mean, I
cause
still have
Now
my.
even
HBO Max needs to convince me because it looks great, but I'm not there yet. I need to justify another damn subscription. Like I'm already satisfied on the anime front. I'm got Netflix. I watched. Well, I'm starting to watch again The Flash and starting to try to catch up or just watch them. And even then, I have them on Netflix.
yeah,
So
I mean, I probably need like a couple more shows to
I got
convince me to get
Sling
on Max.
TV, so that gives me my Cartoon Network, Toonami fits, and TBS fits, and it needs to give me something to chew on. Because right now it's like, cool, I might do the free trial. Don't
Like, do we
expect
know
anything
what
out of
Cartoon
that.
Network shows are even going to be at launch?
at launch, I think it's Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, and I
Hold
think
up, I heard Dexter's Lap.
yes. Well, that one was actually taken off of Hulu a few months ago.
Actually,
actually wanted to go watch that on Hulu, and it wasn't there anymore.
actually,
I
you know
honestly
what?
didn't know that was on Hulu.
It
Actually,
was.
you know what? The problem is, great, it has Dexter's Lap, but I'm probably gonna finish it before the free trial ends.
But I think it's
I
also
just
gonna
sit
host
there.
like a bunch of other Cartoon Network Studios titles. We know Adult Swim will have like Samurai Jack. All 5 seasons will be up there. All 4 seasons of Boondocks.
Now,
Um,
maybe it's me, but I would like them to not just have okay, they're gonna have Cartoon Network studio shows there, great. But I would like them to not just limit it to like the American Cartoon Network. Because there are other branches of Cartoon Network around the world that make cartoons. If they don't have an option for English, then fine, add subs. But I'd like them to at least incorporate a few of them.
um,
Just a sample, maybe, possibly ish.
it'd be cool. I'm not sure if that'll be the case though.
I'm not saying like immediately. I'm saying like more down the line. Because
It
I do think it's a perfect chance to incorporate other Cartoon Network programming from other places in the world. Like I still remember when I went to Dominican Republic and I was actually watching like three Cartoon Network shows that were made in Latin America, and I laughed my ass off. And after that, well, all right, they're only Latin America. I can't. I don't even remember the names, but I would like them to include other Cartoon Network shows from the other Cartoon Networks in the rest of the planet. It doesn't have to be all of them. Like again, just like a sample, just something. I think it's a
Anything.
perfect chance to do that with other programming. I mean, if you got a streaming service with no broadcast limits, why not go for it?
fair enough. Um, I'd like to see that. That'd be pretty cool. Whether or not they implement that, I do not know.
I think they'll implement it when they just reach a point where like, oh shit, we're out of shows.
Oh shit! Oh shit! We actually wrote off all the good
Shit, shit,
shows.
shit, 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 shit. Give me stuff from Cartoon Network France. It's,
I could
this,
totally see somebody from Warner Media being like, "Wait, oh shit, we wrote that show off. We wrote that off. We
uh,
wrote that off.
we'll make another season of Simba and Titan. Oh shit, we wrote that off. Um, what's that? What's that cartoon we had in like Cartoon Network Italy? Let's just bring that and dub it in English. That'll do something. Like I can totally see that happening actually, where they go up, they start guns a blazing, and then they realize, shit, the originals aren't done, and we're actually running out of stuff to put.
And some like random week they're just gonna highlight Yogi Bear.
Look, we got Yogi Bear. Um, Fire subscription, please.
But it also just kind of brings a big problem to Max currently is that, Warner Media is big and all, but they're not as big as the Walt Disney Company. And, I don't mean that as an insult to them. It's just that
It's the reality.
it's just the reality of it.
So to be fair, Disney is a freaking monster that eats a
I mean,
company every
you
four
aren't wrong,
years.
Yeah.
but, I do, I will be getting Max. I do see a lot of potential for it, and I'm pretty excited for what originals they have. I'm really excited for those Looney Tunes shorts because they look phenomenal. Just from like the short clips that have been shared online, they look amazing. So I'm excited for that, and I'm also excited for a bunch of other original content that's coming. And I'm HBO Max seems like it's going to be a platform where Warner Media is not just going to be creating stuff for Warner Media. Obviously, they seem to be very interested in acquiring content across the board. They acquired South Park for streaming rights. They acquired Ghibli, Doctor Who, and who knows what else in the future that they have that they'll stream on that service. So it's pretty clear that they want to make HBO Max a lot like Netflix rather than making it like what Disney Plus is.
Yeah, I do hope that that means that they're gonna include dubs.
I would say
I
yes.
hope, because I would love to see Dexter's Lab in Spanish again.
Um, well, what about you?
Probably would like to watch Ed and Eddie on there.
Um, well, just so everyone has a chance to talk, everyone's thoughts. What do you guys think?
I mean, again, I still need a few more shows to be convinced on Max.
I'll
Probably
pro-
maybe a show that an audience would really want back.
I'll probably get it right away simply because like the HBO content alone, I'll probably consume on a pretty like regular basis.
Yeah,
So everything on top of that's kind of just extra for me.
that's also a big reason of why I got it because HBO is just they produce great content and just have it on a better video player and a better service. Yeah, but everything else just seems like an extra. Like HBO is the selling factor, and just having everything else is just it's icing on the cake.
That's fair.
What about you, boss?
I'm probably gonna wait it out and see because, like I said, I got like five subscriptions already, and not don't really have the money for it right now, unless something if it's really worth it, I might get it.
Yeah, honestly, if it comes to a point, I probably will cancel a couple subscriptions just to keep Max, or just to keep
Yeah.
this
Also,
service.
sorry.
But I mean, if it's not really what I'm using, if I'm not using it a whole lot, I could see myself canceling it too. So, I mean, it's all what Warner Media decides and what they have in store for it in the future. I personally see a lot of potential in the platform, but I understand the criticisms that come with this new platform. The lack of content, lack of content in terms of original content, and then the pricing and everything. Some people just want to keep Netflix, and that's perfectly fine. But right now, this is the future. Multiple streaming services available to the consumer.
Yeah, but I think we've raised a point there where
Oh shit, Steven joined us.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
A wild
Welcome, Steve.
Steven.
What I miss?
It's like the
Oh,
Brady
wow,
We're
Bunch
just
here.
talking
It's
about
like fucking phantoms and like a camera.
Phantom, you're drinking. We see you.
no. This is water.
Sure.
Water. Right.
holy water.
I just
No,
realized, Sam, you're the only one
hopefully
without an
vitamin water.
avatar.
I don't know how to add an avatar, and I'm lazy.
But
You
I
have
was
fan-
thinking about something.
Yeah.
Warner owns the rights to Mega's XLR, right?
They wrote that
Mm,
off.
No.
yeah.
Oh,
I
I was gonna say put
believe
it on
when
HBO
a show
Max.
gets written off, it's pretty much to the government. I think they can resell the show digitally because that show was made long before digital rights were a thing.
But
I
HBO
mean, it's on
Max.
iTunes.
Wait, are you telling me that if we want a season 2 of Symbiotic Titan, we have to negotiate with the United States government?
If only it were that easy.
If
It's not
only.
that easy.
That's a hard
Is,
bargain.
with the
Only
digital
for a
rights.
small price of $2 billion.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna pay that. Oh, you want this show? $2 billion. Oh God. No wonder we're never gonna get a season 2.
But I think also we've seen Symbiotic Titan pop up on streaming services, so it's possible Mega 6LR and Symbiotic Titan will be available on Max at some point. Maybe not
Maybe.
available immediately, but at some point.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna. But I think maybe not. I think it's gonna be like you said, where they're not gonna put all their eggs in one basket. They're gonna have some select shows spread out, and I think Symbiotic Titan is gonna be one of them. Because like, we really want a season 2, but it's not a show that's gonna get a season 2 or can be exploited that much. So, sure, you can have it Netflix. I think it's gonna be one of those cases where
Mhm.
it's on Netflix. It might appear on HBO Max, but
That's about
there's
it.
no push for it. I do think that we've actually hammered home a, a little topic that is we've reached that point where shit, it's not a subscription service. If I add it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cancel. Let's see, what can I cancel?
Bye bye Disney
I mean-
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. Something I'm thinking about. All these streaming services. How the hell do you expect everybody to get all of it? It's just gonna be too much money to afford all of them. It's like
Personally,
$100
for
out
Box
there.
me,
version.
I'm not subscribing to everything. I'm keeping Disney
Yeah,
Plus and HBO
me-
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like cable where you buy the
Yeah.
entire service and
You
you get a
have,
bunch.
you have
you
either
don't care
one
about,
package where you get like 20 different channels you don't give a shit about. You either pay for a
and you
service
only
you
watch
want.
2.
Yeah. You
But
either-
like, there are a few shows that are exclusives or originals to each service that you want to watch, but you're not trying to pay for every service to watch. Each show.
Shh, just between you and me, boss. It's called password sharing.
Don't tell Disney.
Yeah, don't tell Disney. Don't tell Bob Iger that.
Phantom knows about that. Phantom already knows about that one.
Well, technically, this is out there on the internet at this point, so it's a matter of who shares who.
Yeah.
But
Like-
companies
Like right
are.
now, I'm sharing Sling TV with.
Oh yeah, so me and Sim were actually talking about that earlier.
Like right now, I'm actually paying about like $10-12 for Sling TV. Actually sharing it with my mom and a friend back home, and one of my uncles wants to get in on it, so we're gonna split the bill even further. So basically,
Nice.
the more people we add in, the cheaper the bill becomes. So it's one of those cases where, like, to me, I see the other live TV streaming services is like, ooh, $44 on YouTube TV. That's great. I pay like $9.
You know, Sylvie just made me think about something. Phantom, you owe me a shit ton of money.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
We
Because
see
he
an
used to use
extortion
my
going on
PS
here.
View login to watch Toonami.
Ooh, someone's in trouble.
Oh, it's getting real up in here.
But yeah,
I think he's too drunk to realize what's going on.
Nah,
but yeah,
I just
let's
don't
just
care.
keep doing password sharing. In fact, Sam, when you get HBO Max, mine, you mind if you just share?
I'll send you a link.
Thanks, bro.
The drug deals of the future.
Hey man, you got a password you can share? I got tons here under
You
my
got a
cloak.
password to spare.
There's a password for Disney Plus. There's a password for Netflix right there. There's a password for HBO Max. There's a password for
Is,
Peacock if you care about that.
I got a special deal on. Let's see, I got some Crunchyrolls, Funmations.
Got a really
See,
good deal going on
got some-
CBS Access. It's just so dirt cheap right now.
Got some Hulu Plus with live TV special.
But to go back to like, oh, there's so many subscription services. Do you really expect people are gonna buy every service out there? They're gonna
No.
stick with one, or they're
I
gonna
mean, if you're
buy at
rich,
least two.
Good for you.
No, but we're reaching a point where everyone's trying to make a service,
Oh, for sure. And I do
Everyone
think that
splitting
this
up the
market
pie
is
even
going.
further, and that's going to start making it harder to stick to one service.
Oh, for sure. I
And
mean,
like
the
you guys
bubble.
said,
There's been multiple analysts who have been speculating that the bubble, the streaming bubble, is about to pop. Which, of course it is. New services are coming out like every fucking week. I think I can sneeze and like a new company is just gonna come out and say we're making
Yeah.
a streaming service. Oh god damn it, QBTV exists.
I kind of want it to pop because when it does, hilariously, I think the one service that's going to survive is Amazon Prime Video because no one gives a shit about Prime Video.
yeah.
I
There's a
mean,
Prime
It's
Video.
included with your Prime
Amazon Prime Video
subscription.
sucks, to be honest.
It does.
uh,
I
their
forget it
original
exists.
content is great, but their
I mean-
service is a miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only
Their
use
player is
Amazon
pretty terrible.
Prime when Vinland Saga and Dororo are on, and even that, I just use my mom's account. I
Oh, I'm not paying for Amazon Prime right now. That's
No.
all through
My
somebody
sister-
else.
Has Amazon Prime, but I don't even really use her account for Amazon Prime Video because, like I said, it sucks. There's really nothing on it that interests me.
Like the one time I used Amazon, no, the times I use Amazon Prime Video is when Amazon like, hey, we got a special free trial for you, just for you. Okay, I'm gonna take that for a month, sure. And then like I tried The Man in the High Castle. Okay. Ooh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm gonna put that. Like,
Yeah, actually,
even
I'm
with all the offerings, it's like, cool. Ooh, I remember this show. It doesn't have anything to grab you.
It also doesn't help that Amazon never promotes it. Like I use Amazon like on a daily basis, and I forget that Prime Video exists all
Yep.
the time.
Because it's, I'm convinced they only made Prime Video just to say they have a competitor to Netflix.
Pretty much.
What was
I
that
mean,
other
Yeah.
service they had?
I mean,
Just to
Amazon's
say that
failed.
we have it.
Anime
Amazon's-
Strike or something?
Yeah, that failed.
oh god, Anime Strike.
Horribly. Failed
It
horribly.
would strike.
But I
all right.
mean, like
Nelly.
Amazon and Apple, they're not in the streaming wars or whatever it's called. They have
Yeah.
streaming services, but their main goal is to sell you. Amazon's trying to sell you Amazon Prime. You get Amazon Prime because you want free 2-day shipping. You have Apple TV Plus because you bought the latest iPhone. That's basically it. They're trying to sell you their services rather than sell you their video platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's streaming services are just there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not like there's not great content on there. I think that there is for Amazon Prime Video. There's a bunch of good originals on there, but
Yeah, it's just that it's just exists
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
that you also get this. That's it. That's its reason for existing, to just say,
I will say
oh,
this:
we
at
have
least
this.
it exists better than Peacock does, because goddamn, that service has absolutely nothing.
It's not it's The
Does
Office.
it even have
I
part of it?
completely forgot NBC was doing one.
The sad thing is, someone is going to get that service just to watch The Office.
Oh, absolutely. someone's
Oh,
going
for
to.
sure.
It'll be
Oh, you know what? No,
wait,
no, I'm
wait,
getting
wait.
this service just to be my night court machine.
Don't they? Who owns the rights to Father of the Pride?
That would be NBC Universal.
So would it end up on Peacock?
I don't know. I don't personally care
You can
because
ask them.
Peacock.
I mean, despite
Well, first off, like if we're talking about
DreamWorks
streaming
is-
services names, I think Disney Plus and HBO Max are beautiful names because they are simple. They get to the point.
Yeah.
Peacock is a terrible fucking name. Fight me on that, people of the internet. Fight me on that because it's
No,
a
it's
goddamn
not.
awful
Let's be
name.
nice.
No,
Let's be
yes,
nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong. You didn't have to say it.
I love that meme.
But I mean,
I do have
like,
to say that the most worthless streaming service, quote unquote, by far, that was YouTube Red.
oh god,
Oh God, YouTube Red.
Is YouTube Red still around?
it's now YouTube
No.
Premium.
And even
Yeah,
then,
it's
still-
YouTube Premium.
you know what's,
Anyone even use YouTube Premium?
I don't.
you know what's sad? Like later down the line, they
YouTube Premium, it's the Google Stadia for
started
YouTube.
YouTube TV. Later down the line, they started YouTube TV. And you know what's sad and really pathetic when you think about it? They made so many TV shows, and they never even thought of, hey, since we have this live TV service, why don't we just make a channel and we just add all the YouTube TV originals we made and throw them on there? Like, they didn't even think of doing that.
Wait, so did all the YouTube Red shows just get like straight up canceled?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh damn!
YouTube's like, oh, we're snapping this shit out of existence.
That's kind of effed up.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, they started live TV service and they didn't even think, you know what, we can throw all the TV shows we made, put them on there, and then
They have originals on YouTube TV. I'm not sure if it's the same ones from
Yeah, it
YouTube Red.
is. It's basically the same ones.
so did they make a channel where they just threw the
Yeah.
YouTube Red shows?
Yep.
It's more like it's an on-demand channel type of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Why
I
make it
have
on the-
YouTube TV, and while I like that service, Jesus Christ, the YouTube originals are terrible. Well, not all of them. I like Marquise Brownlee stuff, but regardless,
But I'm not even saying like an on-demand service for the YouTube Red shows. I mean, make an actual TV channel, do the ads, just
oh
add
man,
the
can
YouTube
you
shows.
imagine like Jake Paul hosting that?
Oh lordy. Oh, Lord
Ew,
almighty.
why?
Get
Roll my
fucking
eyes at
Jake
that
Paul
name.
and MatPat to host the entire fucking thing. Oh, YouTube, hire me. I will fucking make you money.
Oh, dude, I can definitely see them make a Paul Brothers block.
Oh,
The family.
Please, no, anything but that.
No, 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 no.
excuse me while I go and vomit.
You still there, Phantom?
I think he
I
died.
think he
Wait.
died.
Yeah.
No, I'm still here.
He's probably
Oh,
falling
there
asleep. I think that's well,
No,
Any
I'm
final?
just
I think we should wrap
distracted.
it up actually, because we've
Yeah.
been going
Yeah.
on for quite a bit. So,
I
final
think we.
thoughts.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
So yeah, final thoughts on both the future of Toonami and HBO Max.
Toonami.
I
Well,
think Tanami's
Fine.
not everybody at once.
well, what about Steven? Steven hasn't talked about it.
But yeah, let's Steven go.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I get the honor. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
with all the there's a lot of changes going on. I saw a lot of people freaking out about the schedule being chopped down. But hey, we've been here before. The block's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was sick the week of all that happening, and when I came back, I'm catching up on all this, and I was like, seeing everybody freak out. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, this same thing literally happened 5 years ago at the same exact time, and Tanami was fine. Tanami's gonna be fine now. Chill out, relax.
Yep. I don't know. I feel like people always make it a pastime to just talk doom and gloom about the block when it's like,
Toonami's dying.
no,
Exactly.
no, it's doing fine. It's doing probably better than it was probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
as my friend Khaki Blue Sox would say, Toonami makes money.
Yeah, I think
Like,
the
I
block.
didn't even know why they were rerunning Attack on Titan again. They done run that damn thing to hell and back.
They
I
had
mean,
the rights.
you could say it's-
Might as well.
I mean, the same could be said about not Dragon Ball, but Ghost in the Shell and Cowboy Bebop. That's been ran to death.
I
Well,
mean,
they're not airing that.
don't they own Ghost in the Shell?
They do.
Season
I
2?
think, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they like licensed it out because I think Manga Entertainment put money behind the standalone Complex series,
Yeah.
and Adult Swim basically was like, "Hey, we want first dibs on this." So I think they basically have some rights to it.
Yeah. And Cowboy Bebop is basically an honorary Adult Swim show. So they're going to. Jason DeMarco has even stated it. If he could fill Toonami with nothing but Cowboy Bebop, he would do it. So,
I mean, he technically did that. There was a
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop marathon.
April Fool's
Yeah.
2020 plans leaked.
Did they ever add
Yeah.
the Cowboy Bebop movie?
Adult Swim, I think, aired that once.
Which one? Knocking on Heaven's Door?
there's only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Phantom. What universe you
Oh.
living in?
Isn't there another one? Because I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Well,
like,
he's
wait, maybe
talking
another
about the
one?
live action series.
Probably in another dimension. Or there's only 2 Cowboy Bebop animated films.
But yeah, to wrap up my final thoughts, I agree. The future of Toonami is looking very bright. I like the fact that they have originals coming. As for HBO Max, like I said, I think of it as a platform that has potential, and I do see a lot of growth with it. But I do understand that this is an expensive platform, and not everyone is going to be subscribing day one. So we'll see how that all turns out for Warner Media.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, really. That's all I
Really
have.
quiet.
There's still
I
one
just want to get everyone's opinion.
Silver, V-Lord, you guys have anything else to say?
Oh yeah. Tanami's fine. It's not dying. And yeah, the originals are gonna come. Like, they wouldn't be making originals if Tanami was gonna be leaving anytime soon. And yeah, Tanami's in a good place. There's nothing to really worry about there. And like Sam said about HBO Max, has a lot of potential. And yeah, I think it'll probably do fine. And I think a lot of people who weren't subscribing to HBO Now are probably going to flock to it, and that's going to give it more of an audience. But I think we'll have to wait and see how it actually grows over time.
Silver, you have anything to add?
No, I think I've said everything I could ever say. Like HBO Max, you're doing good, but you need to convince me. Toonami, you good. Keep going. There's nothing wrong with the block.
Yeah.
Like I think my only real complaint for a long time was that it kept ending at a half hour and not like a full hour. Just because it was a weird time to end the block, and that's really been my only complaint. That and there's no Dragon Ball or One Piece.
So don't start that.
I
Yeah, we're not
keep
gonna go there.
dreaming.
I mean, there's more One Piece coming, but
Shut up.
There is a Dragon show premiering this year.
There-
This is called Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai.
But it's
And
not
that should be on
Dragon Ball.
Toonami.
That should very much be on Toonami.
I hope it is, but it's not Dragon Ball.
It's close enough,
Yeah,
It's not.
it's Toriyama.
Yeah.
even though that
There's no
specific series
Kamehameha.
Toriyama had none of the artistic involvement in.
Pretty much, but Dragon Quest, Toriyama had involvement with in some way.
Does someone go Super Saiyan?
yes.
Okay, then fine.
They have spiky hair.
Yeah.
As long as there's a Super Saiyan.
Before we close out, since Steven, I don't know if you got your full thoughts out. Any final words?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean,
Everything.
everything, we've all said our piece, I'm sure.
Okay. Well then, thank you for joining us. Maybe we'll do another one of these in the future. I kind of wanted to do this because I thought about writing an article similar to this type of topic, but I thought it'd be a lot more interesting to do it as a live discussion. So maybe we'll do this again sometime in the future. Thank you for joining us.
This is the part. This is the part where
This is the part where we plug stuff.
Oh, I
Yes.
guess we're
Well,
still plugging
this
stuff.
isn't a regular podcast thing, so I'm kind of confused on what to do here.
You were supposed to
Just
click
just
Why
plug.
not?
the button, but
I'll just keep. I knew we were gonna fuck it up some way.
Well, you know,
Well,
Rebel.
I'm not sure we were supposed to plug our stuff or just to end it.
We never thought that far ahead.
okay, then I'm going to start ranting about last week's Sword Art Online.
Okay, let's the broadcast right now.
Why does Kirito keep getting ladies?
Oh my god,
I'm ending
please.
Where he
Eric,
All right.
Yes, end it.
Eric, for the love of God, edit this out.
And we